here. Today I'm going to talk about using adjust for overlaps in a PDF document. Now normally you wouldn't be able to do that, but of course in ZoomNotes you can do that. You can do anything you want to in ZoomNotes. Almost, feels like. Anyway, what I'm talking about is, whenever you put an image, well, let me go ahead and show you. If I put an image on text, the text wraps around. So I'm going to go up a level because this is a sub page. See how I've got this black tag over to the left and how the text is wrapping around it. If I move it down, see it wraps. That's what I'm going to show you how to use. That feature is under text. If I go to text and go to format, see adjust for overlaps. It's right there and I turn that on. Now I have set it so that my default for text includes the background, the right font, and this adjust for overlaps. So that anytime I decide while I'm reading this page or any page, I can just select that text, cover it up, and automatically create this little tag here. Normally over on the right side, I have that whole right side normally blank so that I can draw and do whatever I want to make a visual for the text over on the left side. But this particular Bible I've got set up to try to read it in 90 days. And I knew that I wasn't going to be spending a whole lot of time drawing. I was just trying to read it, If once you start studying, it becomes a whole new ball game and you never get off of it, okay? But so this particular Bible I set up that way. And that's why I have no room over on the right. Well, I can't stand it. I have to be able to somehow make a visual. So I have chosen that if there's a scripture that I want to really remember, of course, there's always underline, underscore, highlight. There's all those options, but you get all those going on and it just becomes a blur. An underline is like, yeah, that's something I need to read. But if it's highlighted like this tag over on the left, then I pay more attention to it. And, later I'll probably go and search for all the tags and put them in one spot. And this will be, oh, these are my favorites. You know what I mean? So, if you notice over on the left side, it's kind of hard to see, but see how the color of the background is ever so slightly darker. I did do that on purpose because I wanted to be able to see just by quick looking that, which I should be able to because the left side I don't have full justification. Like on the right side, that is fully justified. So there's tips already. There's clues that give me that, but I feel better having that little bit of a visual to see that, okay, that's already been done. Ideally, I wish we could import a PDF that automatically takes care of all the text. And I don't know, I guess there's advantages and disadvantages to that. But there is a way on the internet to do it, to convert a PDF to a text file. But of course, they all come with subscriptions, and I'm not going to pay a subscription for that. So I'm willing to take the time if I decide I want to do something like this. I'm willing to take the time to do it rather than pay for a subscription. I'm just not going to. So, and I mean, there may be something out there that I'm not aware of, and if you guys know, please let me know because I want to be able to do it. But I'm just not going to pay a subscription. Okay, so the way I do it, if I'm reading along and I decide I want to highlight something, I will go ahead and go to the A with the I-beam, which is the little button that you can edit PDF. I select that and I go ahead and tap on where I want to start changing. Now, I do go ahead and select everything on that one column. I only do one column at a time because right now, currently, we don't have a way to make it wrap back up to a second column. That would be nice. You know, that would be real nice, but we don't have that. So I have to do each column individually, but I just do a copy. And because I know that I have my default with all the settings that I need already, all I have to do is first draw exactly. I want to draw on top of the existing one right here. And see, it automatically it covers up what's underneath it with that little bit of a darker color. And it's sitting there waiting for me to do something. So now that I've got it copied on the pasteboard, all I have to do is paste it. And I've got it set so that it's a font that kind of sort of matches. I don't know the exact font that they used. So I discovered that the Apple symbols is a good substitute, is close enough. Now another thing that this does not do is add hard returns. So if I want the space between each of the verses, I have to add that myself. So I'm going to go ahead and hit hard return behind each one of the verses. It's just easier to read when you have that space. Let's see. Now see this 23. I'm going to go ahead and that is a whole new chapter, which if I had been paying attention, I would have gone ahead and selected it. Watch, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to move this, select it, move it over, and I'm going to grab the 23 just so that I have it's a little bit consistent. And again, this is just another image that I'm going to be wrapping around. So I tap off, do copy, and I'll double tap it over on the right side just to paste it so I can move it when I need it. Now I'm going to go back to this, put it back over here. And now that I've got my hard returns in there, I can go ahead and add my 23 over here on top of the 23. See, and it wraps. Of course, now the 23 stays there, so I could go ahead and get rid of that 23. In return. And then tap off again. And see, there's my 23 back. And also the black tag, because that's I've decided that's what I'm going to be using if I'm going to highlight a particular scripture so that I can quick find it later. I have saved it as a symbol. If I go here and see this, there's 3 black tags right there. In the middle, there's one with text already in it. See, I had been using the one underneath it, but I was having to format the text every single time I used it, and that was a pain. So now, because I've got that, I've got it selected, I'm just going to tap here and see there's scripture already there. But the beauty of that is that it has the formatting. Sorry. You know, I'm talking and my brain is off somewhere else doing something else. When my mouth needs more input, I have to pull my brain back to where I'm at. So, okay, so in order to do that, let's say if I want to highlight verse 29, what I'll do now, because this has been converted, I no longer need the A with the I being. I need the regular text select. So I go back to the selection because this is normal text now on top of the other. So I'm just going to select, this right here. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and put the 29 too. Do copy. Then I can go back over to my tag and select all and do paste. And see, it's going to be the right size automatically. Seems like there ought to be, well, it feels like it ought to be more words than that, but it's not. I'm just going to, oh, I just added something. Let me get rid of that. I was using my keyboard over on the right, trying to move the 29 over. So if I tap off, see my scripture's already there. It's already formatted exactly like I want it. And I can select it now. Now, I need to go ahead while it's still under the text format and pull these red squares at the bottom up, because that's going to affect my wrapping text here. So now that I've got both of them the way I want them, I'm going to select both and just move it to here, and voila. Now, I think if I tap off, now that works. Okay, so if I select that now, notice how it does some funny little, it does wrap. And I guess if I put it here, it would make a little better sense. But whenever I put it slightly here, see how it wraps the text weird? So that would be hard to read. It would, you have to, why is this? And you have to jump over man. And, so what I generally do is just move it to the far right or to the far left here, so that it doesn't break up a line of text. But again, I like it centered like this. I sort of like this, but the problem is, see over on the left, it's jagged, over on the right, it's straight. And something in me does not love that. Okay, so I imagine there's a way, if I did full justification, that would help. But anyway, that's all you have to do. Anytime now, these two columns are ready to add anything. I can, wait, let's see, why didn't that work? If I move that to the front. There's something different about this image right here. I'm not going to use that because I'm using that to point my way through what I'm reading. Let me do a different something. I'm not exactly how that, sure. Sometimes that, it's like it's on a different page, even though you see it on this page. So that's not wrapping exactly like I want it to. But if I go back to my symbols and just pick a different symbol, like I use this little tab a lot. If I want to add a little something that I want to take a little note, I would write that. But notice, see all that white underneath it? That's because, see all that surround around it? That's why, y'all know, I like to, first thing I do is go here and get rid of that. Now, the reason it's got so much is because they're trying to make sure you get all of that drop shadow. This was a purchased one from Wearifs.com. And so that's why it's got all that extra spaces, to give that drop shadow a chance. But let me see, do done. See, and that pulls it up a little bit, but not a whole lot. I can make it smaller and again move it over so that it's okay. So anyway, that's all you have to do. Love this feature. All right, y'all have a good one here. Bye.